These peppers that we have in here, we've got them in here for the season. They won't make it after the frost because these high tunnels are cold frame, which means that the only heat they get is the heat capture that they get from the sun. So at night or early in the morning whenever the sun is not out, the temperature in here is pretty much the same as it is outside. So once we get a frost, these are pretty much done for, and peppers and tomatoes are really sensitive to frost. So they might make a light frost, they might survive a light frost in here, but after that they're gonna go downhill. So unless I cover them with row covers, and even then they're so tall that it'll be hard to get them to overwinter. These are Jedi jalapenos. That's just the variety name, but they're just a general jalapeno pepper. And they're still going pretty strong. They've backed off a little bit as the season has progressed because they've been in here since mid to early May, I believe. So this one is about ripe, and you can tell whenever a jalapeno is ripe by looking at the lines here. They've got these little grayish lines, and the more gray lines they have, the closer to ripe they are. So this one is pretty close, and a little bit of this here is probably a little bit of insect feeding, but we're looking at these little hash marks here, so this is kind of indicating our ripeness. And part of what goes into the ripeness is the firmness, the crunch that you're going to be experiencing, and then also with these hot peppers, the heat level that you're going to be getting from them. So these, like many other peppers, will go to red if they're left on too long, and you can still eat those, but they kind of take on a different flavor than what you think of as your classic jalapeno. And these are kind of my new favorite just because they're really cute. These are biquino peppers. They're a Brazilian pepper, and they're a hot pepper. And I've tried them. I was expecting them to be really, really hot just because they are so small, and generally hot peppers that are small tend to be really, really hot. So they're two different varieties, or two different colors here. We've got yellows and reds. Yeah, the green are just not ripe yet, and if you leave them long enough, they take on this really rich gold color or really deep red. Got a stem here, and then a leaf comes off, and then this would originally have been a flower that got pollinated and then became a pepper. So right here in this kind of junction, you're just gonna lightly twist it or pull it, and then it comes right off. And you want to leave the stems on at least a little bit, because like so many other things, the stem is protective, because now we have exposed this kind of white flesh here, and that could allow for disease, or just they perish a little bit faster whenever they're like that. So these have had some insect damage, insect feeding on them. These are banana peppers. They're banana peppers like what you would think of like your pickled banana peppers. These started out as really long, elongated and beautiful, and then kind of as we've gone on through the season, they've just gotten a little bit shorter. Like here's one that's not too bad. It's a little short for what we would normally look like, and it's starting to get close. These are really hard for me to know whenever they're ready to harvest, because they have a really thin wall or skin, and so they never really take on that like rock hard pepper ripe feel that most bell peppers have. So this is kind of a toss-up. I always look at whenever they start to get this really pale yellow, almost white looking, that I'm thinking they're really close to being ready, because on this side, see, it's still pretty green, so I wouldn't pick this one. And then you would just cut these, you know, you can use them for dips, or you can wring them and put them in vinegar, pickle them, and save them for later. So that's banana peppers, and they're a pretty mild pepper. They're good on a vegetable tray. And then pretty much like the house favorite is the sweet snacking peppers. So these are very similar to they have very similar to a bell pepper flavor. They're a little bit sweeter. And these are all still immature. They haven't turned to color yet, so they're still green, so we don't want to pick any of those. So this guy is getting really close to being ripe. It's going too yellow, so I would just leave it sit a couple more days until the whole thing is about this yellow color. So like here's one that's gone fully to red. And it's a little small, but it should be fine. And then same thing, you just find that junction. You want to be mindful of there are some little flowers there, and then just pick it right off. There we go. Red pepper.